Hello everybody, today we are going to talk about Chapter 10, 2D and 3D Shapes, Mathematics, by Group 1, Elyse, Victor, Jun Han, Zhan Yao, and Hou Leong. Let's begin, shall we? Okay, now, there are going to be 7 chapters. Chapter 10, points and angles, parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and related angles, congruent figures, line symmetry, rotational symmetry, polygons and circles, and lastly but not least, 3D shapes, plans and elevations. Points, lines, and angles. Points. Points are used on GPS to identify locations on a shape or line, enabling real-world and space-based location identification and determining a person's position or heading. What are lines? Geometry consists of different types of lines, including horizontal, vertical, perpendicular, and parallel lines, which move from left to right or vice versa, intersect at right angles, and remain at constant distance. What are angles? An angle in plane geometry is a figure formed by two rays or lines with a common endpoint called the vertex, derived from the Latin word angulus. The types of angles: acute angle, which is less than 90 degrees, a right angle, which is exactly 90 degrees, and an obtuse angle, which is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. A straight angle, which is 180 degrees, a reflex angle, which is greater than 180 degrees, and a full rotation, which is exactly 360 degrees. Now, we'll be moving on to parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and related angles. Parallel lines, a pair of lines that are the same distance apart all along their length, are parallel to each other. Parallel lines. Perpendicular lines. A perpendicular line is when two lines meet at the right angle. Related angles, when two parallel lines are cut by a third line, the transversal. 8 angles are formed, the angles from pairs which are related to each other in specific ways. Corresponding angles, the F shape, the alternate angle, the Z shape, and the co-interior angle, the C shape. Congruent figures. What are congruent figures? If two figures can be placed precisely over each other, they are said to be congruent figures. Example: A, B, C, and E are exactly the same as E, H, G, and F. Now, there are congruent and similar figures. Congruent and similar are not the same thing. Shapes that are congruent are also similar to shapes that are not similar. That are similar are not always congruent. Now, this is a congruent figure, which the shape has have the same size and the same shape. Now, similar is only this can be just the same shape and not a different size. For example, this triangle bigger. They're both triangles, but this one is much more smaller. Now, there's line symmetry. If shapes can be folded so that one half fits exactly over the other, it's called line symmetry. Now, these are some examples of lines of symmetry. A square has 4 lines of symmetry. A rectangle only has 2, and a rhombus also only has 2. Now, there is rotational symmetry, which is when rotation symmetry is when an object is rotated on its axis. The shape of the object looks exactly the same. Now there's polygons and circles. Now, a polygon is a plane shape with 3 or more straight sides. There's the triangle. quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nanogon, and decagon. And now, in circles, a circle is a close two-dimensional figure in which the set of all points in the plane equidistant, the same distance from a given point called the center. Now, there are parts of the circle: the radius, the diameter, the chord, the circumference, the segment, the sector, the arc, and the tangent. Now, finally, we are on 3D shapes, planes, and elevation. 3D shapes: a solid figure or an object or shape that has 3 dimensions, which are length, width, and height. For example, there's the cuboid, cube, cylinder, sphere, pyramid, and cone. Now, plan and elevation. Plans and elevation are drawings, 3D drawings of a 3D shape. The plan view is from the top shape. The elevation is the view from the front or side. For example, the plane view is on top, the front elevation is on the front of the shape, and the side elevation is the side of the shape. Now these are what they look like in a 2D version. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you all enjoyed this, and please have a nice day. Thank you very much.